Okay, so let's get on with manipulations and checking images that are provided to you from other people. Now, just as a matter of workflow, you may want to make some changes in here. You can go to Edit and you go to Color Settings. Now, I'm not going to make any changes because I know a lot of you are working on school computers and you may not be able to make any changes in here. So all the steps that I'll take assume that you can't, and we'll, double check things as we use them. But sometimes when people are just designing for web, they might change this so that everything that gets brought into their documents gets converted to RGB. You can also look into saving and loading up different profiles in here. This will help you when you're on the job. Um, I think by default your working color space should be RGB, but again, I told you how you can check that down here. If you're creating a brand new image, you have the ability to change that as you're making the new um, file, as we just talked about at the end of the previous video. So anyway, no changes will be made here. Um, then the next thing that you would want to do, especially if you were given an image, you're ready to start, chopping this up to make it just the right size for your website, is you would go to Image, and of course, don't forget about I mean, really, the number one first thing you do when you get an image is image size, right? But we've covered that in so much detail in the previous movies that hopefully that's second nature to you now. But the other thing is under image mode, and this pertains to exactly what we've been talking about, is what color mode it's in. Now, most of the time, the image will be in RGB, like if it came from a digital camera, if it came from a scanner. Really, what typically happens is for an image to be in CMYK, somebody would have converted it because they were getting ready to take it to press. Now, if you are in this situation where you open up an image and you're like, oops, this is in CMYK, you could, but don't do this, just simply go up here and convert it to RGB. And as soon as I release the mouse, it will have done its conversion. But there's two reasons why I'm going to tell you not to do that. First of all, if you can just simply go back to whoever gave you the image and you can get it in RGB, you'll be a little bit better off because assuming that it was generated in RGB to start with, you're going to have all the detail and quality that you want there. If you switch it over to RGB after it was already switched to CMYK, there could be potential image loss, quality loss there. Probably not the end of the world, and I'll show you how to actually convert this over. Now we'll hold off on converting this image for just 1 second because the other thing that you would want to do before you do any conversion is you would want to look down here. So for example, let's just say that we did look up here, we went to image to mode, and instead of saying CMYK, it actually told us that we were in RGB. Then we would want to do what we've already learned about and go down here, make sure that this is in document profile, and assuming again that that image was an RGB, we would look down here and make sure that it's sRGB. So if it's not, or if, in this case, the image was given to us in CMYK, rather than change it here under image mode, we'll take care of both things at once by going to Edit, then we'll go down to Convert to Profile. And by going from what we're at right now, which is this version of CMYK, and we change our destination to sRGB, that's going to do both things for us at once. In other words, it's going to become an RGB image, but not just any style of RGB, sRGB, which is what we want for the web. So we click OK, go to this little caret here, well, it's already set up, and it tells us that it's in sRGB. So if this image was the right size and everything, we could save it out. If not, we could crop. So I have videos. The very next video coming up is going to deal with the topic of if this image was just right, now which file format do I save it at? And then after that, we will talk about ways of cropping and manipulating images.